Hello everyone, today I'll be teaching you how to do this photo manipulation in Photoshop, and this is called Math Sucks for obvious reasons, because math sucks. I got the inspiration for this during my final exams week, and I was procrastinating on my studying for the class, so I was like, well, I might as well do something productive, so this is what I came up with. All the elements are math related. So the first thing you want to do is open up all the elements so you can access them really easily. And then you want to open up a standard US paper file. It just comes in the default settings of Photoshop. And first element we're going to paste is this guy. This is not my resource. I got it from Pixabay. I'll be linking everything down below. But here it is, pixabay.com. It's good stock photos. I really like using the site, and they're free to use, and you don't have to credit the photographer or anything, which is pretty cool. So I put him a little off center. Right there. The next thing we're gonna work on is our background. So I'm going to paste this texture in there. This is a texture I made. Well, I didn't make it. It's a picture of the sidewalk. And we're gonna, of course, paste it underneath the guy. So this is going to be pretty much like the top layer. So we're going to be doing everything behind him, but it's good to just have that there because we'll be working around him. So, and you also want to name the files so they're easy to, or not files, you want to name your layers so that they're easy to go back to because we'll be rearranging some of them. Next thing I'm going to open is my wrinkled notebook paper. I'll be just really quickly using the magnetic lasso tool, just selecting this. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is because it's in the background, it's going to get drowned out by everything else, so it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. I'm going to place this right here. We're going to go back to that piece of paper and select the top. Right about here is good. Copy. Paste it in there. We're gonna set the opacity to this one to 50%. And we're gonna go to the eraser tool. And just use the softest eraser. Softest, yeah, with 0% hardness. And gently fade that off. We're going to be taking another piece of paper. And quickly selecting the bottom, like the bottom 25% of it or something. Yeah. Paste that as well. I'm going to be making this a little smaller. Now, this isn't going to be exactly the same as the one in the beginning, just because I didn't record myself when I was making that. And these abstract things, it'd be kind of hard to recreate it exactly. So I'm going to use the magic, is this the magic wand tool? Sorry about that. Yes. And then roughly selecting a good portion of it, opening a new layer, and using the paint bucket tool and just pasting it in white. Merge the two. And maybe opacity of 80. That's good. So change the opacity to 60%. Now we'll be taking our fractal. These are use math to like make these things. I don't know how to make them personally, but I'm going to first stretch it to the size that I want. So I think I'm gonna make it about the size of the actual, roughly. And I'm going to go to decrease the saturation so that it's black and white. So I didn't really think that the red color matched. Go to the eraser tool. I'm going to just really roughly across the center diagonally fade it away. And then make the opacity 50%. Maybe even a little over here as well. There we go. Next, we're going to put in a layer of color. Solid. Okay. Like a indigo, I'm not really sure what to call it. And then rasterize the layer so it's editable. Yes. And like we did with the fractal, just go across. And change the opacity to 60%. Now we're going to be working around the guy. Maybe some scribbles. So I'm going to be going to my brushes, using some scribbles that I made myself, and you'll be able to download these. And also make a separate video on how to just make your own from scratch. That's a good size. I'm going to change the color of the brush to black. So one here, one there. Now I'm going to be taking another scribble brush I have. and making this layer to be used as a stencil. I guess maybe that's like the best word to use, a stencil, so that I can cut the pie element we'll be using. So, maybe a little bigger, like 1,500. That's good. And I'll just twice, like that. And maybe move that up a bit. There we go. And then I will be opening a text. Now, we're going to go over here to piday.org. And we're going to be, where is it? We just want the digits for pi. I have like the wrong thing open. It's on this website, I just can't find it. There we go. piday.org/million. And now, so we're gonna copy as many as you need. I'm not really even sure how many I'm gonna need. And this is 1 million digits, so obviously you're not going to go that far. I don't know, like maybe 50 of them. I'm not really sure. So then you just open your text tool, paste it in there. I'm going to change it to small fonts. It's like one of my favorite fonts. It looks kind of like a, like digital or whatever. I don't even know how to explain that. It's a system font, so whether you're using PC like I am or you're using Mac, it's on both of them. Make sure that your settings are like normal so they're not all squished up like that. Maybe a little smaller, so yeah, 10-point font. That's good. And we're gonna not shrink it, but make the box kind of fit the size of the brushes. Need a little more. There we go. What you're going to do now is flatten it, or rasterize it, sorry about that, so that it's editable. Select the pixels of the brush that we put in place. Then you're going to select inverse and delete it, so that everything on the outside is deleted. And then you just hide that layer. You can even delete it you can just even delete it if you want to. We're going to do the same process again, but a little smaller. So maybe change that same brush to 1000. Paste the pie in there again. Rasterize the type, select pixel, click inverse, and delete. Now, I'm gonna leave the scribble here, but maybe what I'll do is take it to 50%. That's fine. Maybe not 50, that's a little too dark. There we go, 70. And then I'm going to duplicate this layer. Arrange it so that it's over that. And bring it right about there. Right behind the guy. I'm going to go back to my lined piece of paper. Take like a wrinkled part of it. So maybe right about there. Let's take use the rectangle tool. I'm going to move it right about here. We're going to bring the opacity down to 7. We're going to place it behind the pies, maybe. Let's see how that looks. That looks good. Just use your eraser tool to maybe blend it a little better. Much better. Now we're going to add some brains behind him. Have this other brush that I made, some brains. Change the brush to white. I like to do like 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. But I will rotate them so they're not so uniform. There's one. And rotate this one in the other direction. There. Then I'm going to maybe change the size of this one here. Change the opacity. Or maybe not the opacity. I'll change this to overlay. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe I can change them all to overlay. No? Never mind. Let me change the opacity. Yeah, that looks good. Change the opacity of that one to 60. And I'll just leave that as is. Now I'll be adding a skull brush. I'm going to change it so it's a little bigger. Oops. 1,000. Bigger than that. Like 3,000. That's too big. 2,000. That looks good. And I'll be changing to like a navy color. Maybe a little darker than that. Add it right there. And finally, I'm gonna delete this guy's head so that it doesn't show through the scribbles. That was a little too much. And at first I was doing this manually, but I finally made it into a brush. I have like a scribbly brush right here. You can just do it manually, but I figured I'd just make it into a brush anyways, because I'll probably be using it again. So there we go. Yeah, that's about it. So I hope you guys like this video. If you want me to do more of these tutorials, or maybe even just do like a speed abstract photo manipulation thing, just let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.